Hi, everybody. This is Rich Gibbons with SpeakInc, and today we are here with burnout authority and expert Erin Stafford. Erin.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Erin just finished a great talk with a group of about 200 business owners, entrepreneurs, and your focus was on burnout, which is a big part of your personal experience.
It is. It is. I weave in my own personal experience, and then I also weave in the thousands of interviews and surveys I've done with like a whole slew of high achievers from all different walks of life.
Yeah. Well, it was very engaging, and as somebody who, all of us have to hustle every day, and it's very easy to go down that rabbit hole of just sort of a little bit of like the hamster on the treadmill.
No, not a little bit, a lot. A
lot. Definitely a lot. And there was one element that you talked about. There's a lot of sort of intersectionality with other authors and thought leaders, and one that really struck me was this notion that leaders and entrepreneurs feel this. There's a lot of muscle memory around, I have to have all the answers. Mm-hmm. And that it's okay. There are opportunities that are created, and there is other intellects that you can tap into when, as I heard somebody say recently, I don't know the answer yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Or I don't know the answer, but I know how to get it.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think so often as leaders, particularly as you grow, as you move up the food chain, the totem pole, get into executive leadership, or you're the CEO or the owner, we can often feel like everyone's staring at us.
Right.
However big your team is,
I have to know the answer.
They're all staring at you, being
Right.
like, well, I don't know, you're the boss, you tell me what to do,
Right.
And we can feel all this pressure that we have to have all the answers. But the reality is sometimes those that have moved up the food chain the highest, they're the ones that need the most help because they're dealing with complex, complicated problems that they've probably never had to deal with before.
Absolutely.
And yet everyone's staring at them for answers, but they need help too. And I think we have to be okay with asking for help, building our personal board of directors, calling on friends, colleagues, even people that we don't know. You would be so amazed how many people, especially with social media now, are open and willing to help. Like, it's actually pretty easy to get a hold of really famous, influential people.
And there's a bit of intellectual honesty there that I know I'm supposed to look like I have it all together and I have all the answers to problems that I don't even know about yet.
Yeah, I'm not too proud. I'm not too proud to ask for help.
Right. So the other thing that tied into another speaker that we work with that was just hand in glove with it is this notion that asking others for help is, as she puts it, it's a gift to the helper.
100%.
That it creates human connection when you're asking for a hand up, you're asking for some air support in a situation. It is a gift to that helper.
100%. I always say people love talking about themselves, so let them. People love talking about themselves. They love talking about what they're good at, what they're experts at, and if you can give them an opportunity to talk about those things, they will love to take it.
Right.
But also, I completely forgot what I was just going to say.
So it happens to me all the time. But
I had a really good point.
It will come back to you. The other thing that I literally was like leaning in and waiting to hear the next thing you were saying was, we are very lucky at our company to have some real hustlers and that's not it. People who hustle, not hustlers. But you almost have to beg them to take PTO.
Yeah.
And the example that Erin cited was an entrepreneur who came up with it, was sort of struggling with that. Like, I need people to decompress, take time off, recharge their battery. And he had this very generous PTO policy, but couldn't get people to take PTO.
They still weren't taking the time off,
And so tell the viewers about that.
Yeah, so he offered his team $750 to stay offline during their vacations because, as we all know, we'll be like texting, emails, taking phone calls. Most of us are not good at just turning it off. And so he offered them this generous, bonus to stay offline. But what I always stress is, not everyone has that money that they can offer to their teams, but more importantly, he really set the tone that anytime someone takes time off in their organization, they're to be left the hell alone. We don't call them, we don't email them, we don't text them, we leave them alone so that they can actually not feel guilty they're already feeling guilty for taking time off. So if they know that they're missing emails and calls and texts from you, that makes them feel even more guilty. So he really set the tone in the company. And this is something I think any leader can do, can set the tone in their team, that we leave people alone when they're taking time off.
Right.
We let them actually decompress and relax.
Yeah. And I have so much pride when I see our team do exactly that. They're like, no, this person is on a beach, or they just need to decompress. They're taking their PTO, and it's kind of a no-fly zone.
Yeah.
We don't text them, we don't email them, but it's easier said than done. And there has to be a lot of proactive intentionality about it.
Yeah.
That and like you just said, that leadership is sort of setting the tone.
Yeah.
And creating, setting by example.
Yeah. And I always like to stress, with preventing and overcoming burnout, no one thing is going to fix everything. This is like diet and exercise. We don't just eat healthy one day and exercise like crazy one day, and then all of a sudden we're in amazing shape and perfect health. We have to eat well every day. We have to drink the water, less booze, less fat, take the stairs. All of these little things add up, and it's the same thing with preventing and overcoming burnout. All of the tips and tools that I share, one of those is not going to change your life, but slowly over time, when you stack enough of those habits together, they really do transform your mentality, your mindset, your health, your wellness, all the things.
Yeah. Well, you're coming from, so those out there on the inner tubes that are looking for content that, I think leaders, there's a lot of team components in there, but entrepreneurs who are, going 90 miles an hour and need to sort of solve for, man, I am just smoked. I'm exhausted. I can't. The answers are not coming to me, so I gotta try harder.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of you have a lot of street cred around. Hey, these are sort of the telltale signs that maybe you're going a little bit beyond your. Sort of that comfort zone, and you're coming from a place of authenticity.
Yeah, I mean, a nap can't fix everything. At some point, it's not just about being tired. You are tired at a soul level. You can't concentrate, you can't think straight, I share my own burnout experience where I went from being a super high achiever to being brain dead for probably 6-7 months, and then how I pulled myself out of that hole and now feel like a great normal human again.
Right. Well, it's very relatable, and you are coming to it with a great deal of conviction and authenticity, and I think to a great degree, you can sort of see when you're on the platform, you're coming to the audience with a servant's heart. Hey, I sort of skin my knee here, and you can learn from my experience. For sure. So, well, thank you for leaning into your tradecraft and doing great work.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.